They have to help realize the creator's visions, and they also have to protect their financiers' interests. These people are well qualified to answer with projects from Charlie Kaufman and Boots Riley. These are people who know this business inside and out, right? He's produced films for Takashi Miike, Gus Van Sant, Luca Guadagnino. Like the list goes on and on. He's produced over 36 films, has safeguarded literally billions, that's billions with a B, in tax incentives, but for the times where she worked at PwC, 20th Century Fox, and Netflix. These are experts in this field. This isn't the sexy part of filmmaking, but this is the important part of this. And these are the things that you need to do in order to get things done for your line producers, for your financiers.
Welcome back to Daily Ovation. My name is Joe Winger. Today we're celebrating AFM, American Film Market, coming up for 2025 with Jeff Caruso, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Success for WrapBook. Jeff, thanks for joining the conversation today.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
I'm really excited to understand more about WrapBook's involvement with AFM, your involvement with WrapBook, and understand all of it because so much of our audience are movie lovers, but they're also behind the scenes as far as they're considering being investors. So what we really talk about is lifestyle, like fine dining and wine collecting. And so oftentimes our audience is also dabbling and curious and what they want to understand the behind the scenes of Hollywood and movie making. And hope you can kind of give us a peek about that experience. So to start us off, what are you most excited about for AFM 2025 this year?
You know what? When I think about AFM, the thing that always excites me about this year after year is the possibility that this is the place where capital meets commerce, for lack of a better word. And the conversations that we have are really going to be driven, I think, more so now, this year than at any other time by technology, by it being not just, how content's made, but what is getting made right now. And I think that technology is driving and redefining both of those concepts. And the companies that can get out ahead of that, that can use that in a responsible way, are the ones that are could very well set the stage for entertainment in the years to come.
Standing. And just to push on that for a moment, when we say technology, it's such a wide word. Is it going to stay
Sure
that
is.
broad, or are there specifics within that you're really specializing or looking at?
I think that obviously AI is a key concept that everybody is thinking about, both how companies use it internally and how they are using it in their in the content that they make. I think what's really crucial to understand is that we are still dealing in an industry that is very antiquated. The workflows are all very manual. And that was one of the reasons that I wanted to come over to Wrapbook after being at Cast and Crew for nearly 13 years. Was I was really excited about that next generation technology that they were offering in their product. Uh, Anything that's going to be able to cut through these outdated manual processes are going to make sure that that company is a cut above everyone else.
And we're gonna talk about the website, the Rapbook website in a moment. But I just to give a tease about that, my gosh, it covers a lot. The tools, the resources. I mean, I took one of your tax incentive classes over the summer,
Okay.
and Ryan talks about the resources page quite a bit. And like as much as he talked about it, it still didn't do it justice because there's so much information on those pages.
No, 100%. But what we are particularly proud of is how we are using AI in these products. Like, for example, you can go on the website, and if you have a question about, okay, what is the incentive in California? What qualifies for that? You can just type that into there, and you can come up with an answer right away. Like it's about saving people time. I think that is something that obviously the conversation around AI can be very fraught, can be, a lot of people have a lot of concerns about this.
Mhm.
Uh, I think we owe it to ourselves to position AI and treat AI. It's not the job, it's a tool for the job. So you're doing it in you have a duty to handle this in a responsible way. It's additive to the job that you're already doing. We're helping to make people more efficient in their jobs. Still requires people to take a look at that information. But imagine what you can do if you have all of this at your fingertips. Imagine what you and your teams can do, how much more you can do, how much more efficient you can be.
Absolutely. A lot of the words you're saying are just perfect at the moment. Um, you mentioned positioning, and that's a great phrase because, in my opinion, your panel at AFM next week is in one of the most prime positions. And I
Yeah,
feel like
the
that's
first
because,
panel.
yes, I mean, could it be a better spot, right? What are you hoping to talk about at the panel, and what kind of revelations are you hoping that your panelists are going to share with the audience?
Well, I have to say, just for a second, just to brag for a second, I think our panel is just lights out. The people that we have gathered together for this. I mean, talking about Sam Pressman, right? CEO of Pressman Film. His late father is literally one of the most revered producers of all time, helped to shape the careers of filmmakers like Terrence Malick and Oliver Stone, John Milius, Brian De Palma, Catherine Bigelow. The list goes on. Sam is an accomplished producer in his own right, right? He's produced films for Takashi Miike, Gus Van Sant, Luca Guadagnino. Like the list goes on and on. You have somebody like Sam. You have somebody like Josh. Waypoint Entertainment is one of the most exciting independents out there right now, with projects from Charlie Kaufman and Boots Riley. These are people who know this business inside and out, right? Jeremy Ross from Black Rabbits. He's produced over 36 films. Um, Janine Davey has safeguarded literally billions, that's billions with a B, in tax incentives, but for the times where she worked at PwC, 20th Century Fox, and Netflix. These are experts in this field. So I am really, really excited to hear what they have to say about the market, about how projects are being made, because again, everything is shifting right now, right? The domestic box office is roughly in line with last year. I think it's under 3% right now. There's a lot of questions that are happening right now. Is theatrical still viable? We've come back to that question. Is there still room in the theatrical experience for films aimed at adults? Those are all questions that these people are well qualified to answer and have such a fascinating insight into this. They've literally spent their entire careers in this business.
What a list of names you just mentioned, people using these resources. Today, we're talking with Jeff Caruso, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Success for WrapBook. You mentioned 20, 30 seconds ago the word technology, how fast it's changing. It's affecting budgeting, production timelines for almost every single element. What's your biggest excitement about all of this and your biggest concern?
My biggest excitement is going to be literally how fast these technologies are going to change. You're gonna, I'm old enough to remember when something like payroll was literally just if it was union or non-union. Payroll has become so much more complicated these days. So you need something that is next generation to be able to cut through that for you. What concerns me is again, there's still very much a hesitation when it comes to AI about how to use it. And again, I think this is about reinforcing this idea that this is additive. This is not something that is going to it is not something that is intended to take away jobs. This is about, again, about making you better at what you are doing right now. We see this every single day. I think about this in terms of we have a accounts payable command center, right? Where we are using AI in terms of invoice processing, where it's automatically, you no longer have to manually input descriptions, dates, amounts. That system does it all for you. In that command center, you have a P card reconciliation, you have verified vendor payments. I get it. These are all not these aren't these this isn't the sexy part of filmmaking, but this is the important part of this. And these are the things that you need to do in order to get things done for your line producers, for your financiers. And again, if the idea is that everyone in this environment has to do more with less, the only way you're able to do that is with some tools that are going to be able to take you so we are doing exactly that instead of just less with less.
For me, diligence, responsibility, Those are all the words that filmmakers need to hear and really embrace.
Well, the line producers, the controllers, they have to walk a very fine line, right? Because they have to help realize the creator's visions, and they also have to protect their financiers' interests. And decisions have to be made very, very quickly. The only way that you can do that is with some kind of system and technology that's going to be able to give you the most correct answers quickly.
Two last questions as we wrap up. You mentioned you're getting phone calls all the time. Is there, whether it's a studio executive, an indie producer, maybe a financier, any of those, what is the most common questions you're being asked on a daily basis right now? And then what advice do you give to those answers or to those questions?
In my career, and I don't want to, like when I put a number on it, it just makes me sound old. Uh, but in my career, I've had the distinct pleasure of working with and for some of the brightest executives in this business, people who are still working now, people who have forgotten more about line producing and accounting than I will ever know. They are literally tasked with doing the impossible and in a very finite amount of time. Sometimes what you have to do is that you just have to power through. You have to muscle that through. And what I would say to them is that they are used to a certain amount of frustration. They're used to like, okay, this is the devil I know. I'm going to have to deal with this. What I always try to remind them is that there is a better way to do things. You don't have to, the worst thing that we can do right now is settle for outdated processes. We should be able to say we cannot just be a provider. We can actually help you make things better. And I think as an industry, we have a responsibility to be able to do that.
We're wrapping up today. We're talking with Jeff Caruso, the Senior Vice President of Sales and Success for WrapBook. He's moderating at AFM next week, the November 12th, first thing in the morning, day one of finance, I believe. Is it day one?
Day one.
Could not be more important. Called Packaging to Payback, Investment Incentives in International Markets. This room is going to be jam-packed with people who want to hear what's happening on the panel. As we
Please
wrap
come out. We'd love to see you.
one last question about WrapBook itself, if you don't mind. On
Sure.
the Resourceful website, what is something that is there that's super valuable that we might not be aware of? And or for a first-time producer, first-time investor, what's something on that side we should be really looking at because it's super valuable and helpful to us?
Listen, like my background from when I was at Sun Entertainment was about budgeting. As you had pointed out, when you go on the website, there is so much to see and to learn about. What I would have everybody do is go take a look at how not just aspects like we have a rate finder where you can just literally type in and you can see what the major rates are for film and television projects. Look how we're thinking about AI. Look at how we are envisioning the future about what its purposes are. You will come away with a very, very clear understanding about the possibility. And I want to reiterate that word. This is all about the possibility of what can be done. It's tremendously exciting. And when you have a group of people like we have at Wrapbook who are all so incredibly intelligent and positive and energized about the work that they're doing. I really think that we are going to be unstoppable. You're going to hear this phrase a lot. We are a force multiplier in this business.
I love the energy and the passion you bring to it because, yeah, Hollywood can be sexy, but at the end of the day, it's all about the
It's
diligence
it's
that
all
you're
about getting the work done.
there you go. One last time, Jeff Caruso, thank you so much for your time. Huge congrats for next week. Have an amazing time. I'll be in that crowd, but thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much, Joe. It's a pleasure to be here.